Many years ago, the Mer appeared on Tamriel. There were many different species of Mer, including the Aldmer, ancestors of the High Elves, the Chimer, ancestors of the Dunmer, and the Aelids, who once ruled an empire in Tamriel. But there is one race that stands apart from the rest as unique. A once great people whose advances in technology were unparalleled. An ancient race who discovered the heart of a god and was erased from the mortal realm in their attempt to harness its power. The Deep Elves, or the Dwemer. Fact 1. Origin and Abilities. Long ago, a divine being named Lorkhan convinced some of the other gods to create a mortal realm called Mundus. These gods later became the Aedra and lost their divinity following the creation of Mundus. The Aelnofae are fated descendants of the Aedra, and the Dwemer in turn are one of many descendants of the Aelnofae. The term Dwemer roughly translates to people of the deep. They are also known as dwarves, referred to as such by the races of men. The Dwemer were an extremely advanced race, known for their progress in technology, engineering, magic, and much more. At some point after their emergence, the Dwemer began researching the divine powers of the Aelnofae with the hope of becoming gods and achieving immortality. Finally, the Dwemer were born with an ability called the Calling. This allowed them to telepathically communicate with one another, although the precise details behind this ability are unknown. Fact 2. Clan Workin and their artifacts. The unique items Volendrung and Spellbreaker that can be found in Skyrim were forged long ago by the Dwemer clan Workin. During the late Merethic era, the Dwemer had established themselves in Morrowind and in Skyrim. This unfortunately brought them into conflict with the Chimer, who again are the ancestors of the Dunmer. However, in year 416, the two races chose to form an alliance called the First Council. Under the council, the Chimer and Dwemer united to drive the Nords out from Morrowind. But one clan, called the Workin clan, refused to make peace with the Chimer. According to legend, their leader took his mighty warhammer Volendrung and threw it across Tamriel, proclaiming that where it landed, he and his people would settle. Volendrung landed in modern-day Hammerfell, and so the Workin clan set out for Hammerfell. On their journey there, they encountered a powerful mage called Shalador. A great battle known as the Battle of Workin Shalador was fought, and in this battle the artifact Spellbreaker was used. Details of the battle are unknown, but it is known that the Workin clan eventually overcame Shalador and settled in Hammerfell. Volendrung, otherwise known as the Hammer of Might, is an artifact forged by the Workin clan. It resembles a large ebony warhammer and has the power to paralyze foes, drain them of their strength, and transfer it to the user. When King Workin threw Volendrung across Tamriel, he chose to call the place it landed Volenfell, which literally translates to City of the Hammer. This is the origin of Hammerfell's name. Volendrung is prone to disappearing, much like its dwarven creators, sometimes resurfacing in days, other times resurfacing in eons. For unknown reasons, Volendrung later became an artifact of Malakath, which is ironic for he is one of the Dwemer's most bitter enemies. Spellbreaker is a shield forged by King Workin himself that provides extra protection against magic. It became a Daedric artifact of Periite, the Daedric prince of Pestilence. Spellbreaker and Volendrung are two of the few Daedric artifacts available in all main series Elder Scrolls games. Fact 3. The origin of the Falmer. The Falmer can be found all over Dwemer ruins in Skyrim, but one might ask the question, how did they first come to inhabit these ruins? During the First Era, men from a frozen continent to the north called Atmora conquered Skyrim. These men later became known as the Nords. This act greatly hurt the native Snow Elves and forced them into hiding. The Snow Elves were given the option to take refuge with the Dwemer under the condition that they ingest a toxic fungus that would blind them. With no other option left, the majority of the Snow Elves agreed, but later the Dwemer betrayed them and forced them into slavery. Over time, the Snow Elves devolved into the twisted, blind race of Falmer seen in Skyrim. Eventually, the Falmer rose up against their Dwemer oppressors and overthrew them. They then fled to the city of Blackreach and for decades fought off the Dwemer until their disappearance. Today, the Falmer have but one desire, to destroy the surface world and all who live there. Fact 4. The Numidium. On Alduin's wall, you can see a depiction of a colossal humanoid golem. This golem is known primarily as the Numidium, but also called the Brass God or Brass Tower. The term tonal architect refers to a high-ranking dwarven craftsman or mage engineer. Some sources claim the tonal architects were so powerful they could warp reality itself. There once lived a Dwemer called Cogranach, who was both chief tonal architect and high priest of the Dwemer. He crafted the first Numidium, otherwise called the Anumidium, which was originally intended to serve as a god of sorts to the Dwemer. In order to power the Numidium, the Dwemer attempted to use the heart of Lorkhan, but this backfired and caused their disappearance, which will be discussed in the next fact. After this, the Chimer took possession of the Brass God, and it was later gifted to Tiber Septim in exchange for Morrowind's partial independence. Tiber Septim ordered his imperial battle mage, Zurin Arctis, to construct the Totem of Tiber Septim, which allowed him to control the Numidium. A new power source, called the Mantella, was also constructed. Septim then used the Numidium to take over all of Tamriel. An enraged Arctis attempted to halt Tiber Septim's mad conquest, and in the chaos that followed, the Mantella was lost and the Numidium shattered. During the events of the Elder Scrolls II Daggerfall, the protagonist recovers the Mantella and activates the Numidium, resulting in a dragon break. This is what allows for the multiple endings of Daggerfall to all occur simultaneously. During the events of the Elder Scrolls III Morrowind, a second Numidium called the Lorkhan is constructed from the remains of the first by the game's antagonist, Dagoth-Ur. At the end of Morrowind, the Nerevarine is able to stop Dagoth-Ur and destroys the second Numidium. Fact 5. The Disappearance of the Dwemer. As those of you who have played Morrowind or completed the quest to Arniel's Endeavor in Skyrim know, one of the biggest mysteries of the Elder Scrolls universe is the disappearance of the Dwemer. Here's what we know regarding the event. After building the Numidium, Dwemer miners under the Red Mountain found the heart of Lorkhan, who, once again, is a god responsible for creating the mortal realm. Cogranach created 3 artifacts in order to take advantage of the heart and attach the Dwemer race to the power of the heart. First, Wraithguard, a heavy armor gauntlet obtainable in Morrowind. Second, the dagger Keening, obtainable in Morrowind and in Skyrim during the quest Arniel's Endeavor. Third, the hammer Sunder, also available in Morrowind. When the Chimer heard of the Dwemer's plan to use the heart, they chose to invade and wage war against the Dwemer. This was done under Azura's guidance and out of fear of what the Dwemer might do with the heart of a god. Led by Indoral Nerevar and his generals Vorin Dagoth, Vivek, Almalexia, and Sotha Sil, the Chimer confronted the Dwemer in the Battle of Red Mountain, forcing Cogranach's hand. Cogranach used the tools on the heart, but his plan somehow backfired, resulting in the disappearance of every single Dwemer in the mortal realm save one, Yagram Boggarn. It is believed that Boggarn did not disappear because he was in a different plane of oblivion at the time. There are many theories for what happened to the Dwemer, including that they are still alive but sent to another plane of existence, or what is most likely, they were absorbed into the skin of the Numidium. If you want to learn more about the disappearance of the Dwemer and whether or not they could return in a future game, I'll link a video in the description that I did on the topic. Before ending this video off, I'd like to acknowledge another channel called Fudge Muppet. This is a video I've had in the back burner for some time, but they also recently put out a 5 Dwemer facts video, and I did incorporate 1 or 2 things that they discussed in that video into this one. Please check them out below if you enjoy anything related to Elder Scrolls or Fallout. Otherwise, be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, and have an awesome rest of your day.